Hey everybody, I'm Mr. Wright, and welcome to Wright at the Movies. Today, I'm running down my bottom 10 list of movies of summer 2015. There's a lot of great movies, and there's a lot of painful ones. If you want to check out my top 10 list of good movies, it's right here. If you want to check out the full review, click the annotation down below. Let's start with number 10, Ted 2. There was funny moments, to be sure, but overall, looking back at the year, and seeing how underwhelming it was compared to Ted 1, all it did was retell jokes from Ted 1 or retell jokes from Family Guy. I was late on a review, so I didn't post it, but I didn't like it very much. Coming in at number 9, Poltergeist. Remakes suck. And yeah, there's occasional good ones, like John Carpenter's The Thing, and David Cronenberg's The Fly, and Ocean's 11, but most of the time they suck. And this is a clear example of a sucky remake from a classic movie. It abandons all the charm of the original, all of the style of the original, and most of the story elements of the original, and winds it down into this murky CGI dumb mess. And the whole time just feeling really pointless. And you probably forgot about it until I just brought it up right now. Number 8, Selfless. Tarsem Singh is just the worst. He's an amazing cinematographer. Absolutely stunning with the camera. But when it comes to writing, poof. Selfless's story at least makes sense, and it's not nearly as douchey as some of his other movies. I again didn't get to do a review of it, and that sucks, but so does the movie. Ben Kingsley plays this really rich guy, and he's really sick. He pays for this really weird program where they can take your personality out of your body and put it into a younger, sexier one. The younger, sexier body is played by Ryan Reynolds. Done deal, right? You've got a new body. There you go, congrats. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with this body. Or is there? Turns out this body has its own memories. What does that mean? Ooh. Coming in at number 7, a remake of a video game adaptation. Remakes suck, and video game movies suck. What am I getting into here? Hitman, Agent 47. It's a shame that I have to put this on the bottom 10 list because I was a little bit excited for this. It was supposed to be the movie that starts the video game movie revolution. But it's not really. It's not. All it did was remind us on how crappy video game movies are. I do believe video game movies can be good. The new Assassin's Creed movie with Michael Fassbender looks awesome, but when you have really boring exposition scenes and fun but kind of dumb action and story elements that go nowhere, I just can't care. It felt like a video game, to be sure, but in the worst way possible. Video games and movies are not the same thing. We need to figure that out. Coming in at number 6, Cameron Crowe's return to directing in quite a while. Aloha. What do you get when you make a movie just for acting? You get the best cast possible. Emma Stone, Bradley Cooper, Bill Murray. What do you have them do? Nothing really. Bradley Cooper plays this weapons manufacturer for the army. Bill Murray's this billionaire who wants to make a big deal with him. Emma Stone is the soldier that's working with him in the army. And then it sort of just meanders for 2 hours. I watched the whole thing and I can barely remember a thing about it. I'd say that it at least has really fun dialogue, but it doesn't. People just stare at each other and they think that equates good dialogue. Just as the movie started, I wanted to say aloha to this movie. And not aloha hi, but aloha goodbye. The word means both. Coming in at number 5, Vacation. I'm a big fan of National Lampoon's Vacation and all of its sequels. Turns out Chevy Chase is kind of a jerk in real life, but in movies, he's great. And Vacation, and more specifically Christmas Vacation, are some of my favorites. When I heard that they were trying to reboot, sequelize it, I was really excited. The originals had some of the most witty and driest and really kind of just smartest comedy. We're talking about jokes that are so funny, tears will form in your eyes, that you can quote endlessly and it doesn't get old. But this one, I got nothing. It trades all that complex, witty, dry humor to fart jokes and dick jokes. It feels less like a reference to National Lampoon and more like a reference to Farley Brothers movies. There's some funny jokes, to be sure, and Chevy Chase's cameo in this thing is lots of fun, but overall it's forgettable and it's dumb. Coming in at number 4, Terminator Genisys. Crap. We're talking about a movie that starts with one of the coolest openings ever. The first 20 minutes of this movie are cool, and then the movie stops giving a crap, as we see this really boring, generic villain, plot elements that we've seen in Terminator 3, and again in Terminator Salvation. You know, the ones that we should definitely keep going back to. That not only eliminates the 2 good movies, but also sets up even more movies that I just don't want to see. Breaking the rules of Terminator, and setting up new ones that we've never even talked about before, make this just a complete blobby mess that if you walk in and turn off your brain, I guess it's watchable, but is that really the best we can say about movies now? What about a movie that's really smart and really fun? It's okay if you turn your brain off is not good enough for me. Old Arnold's cool, I guess. That's it. Coming in at number 3, We Are Your Friends. No, you are not my friends. You are nothing close to my friends. My friends wouldn't treat me like this, as it goes from scene to scene to scene, with messy editing, unlikable characters, and story plots that go nowhere. Zac Efron's likable, but only because he's Zac Efron. His actual character in this is an unlikable douchebag. And let's not start talking about all his friends that are in this. Overall though, the one thing you can say about music-related movies is that at the end, you have all those songs stuck in your head. On your drive home, you want to buy that soundtrack. But this, I don't care about any of the music in this. And even the original music in this is trash. I don't know a lot about electronic music. And after this movie, I don't know if I ever want to. Coming in at number 2, one of the movies that felt the most like an insult to me. And an insult to everybody else who likes to think of themselves as a nerdy, geeky kind of person. The biggest, fake nerd movie ever, Pixels. Adam Sandler's back, selling us the same damn thing he sold us for the last 15 years. It's just tired, boring, and uninspired. The pixel animation on these characters is pretty cool, but that's the only thing nice I can say about it. President Paul Blart, the army being stupid compared to the nerds, and don't even get me started on all the convenient excuses for stuff. This should have been a movie for gamers, by gamers, but instead it's for nobody, except for Adam Sandler's accountant. Long after this movie is forgotten, these characters will live on and we'll just keep loving them. Even after a crappy movie like this, these characters aren't ruined, and that shows how beautiful they really are. Coming in at number 1, the worst movie of summer 2015. The movie that everyone thought was going to be the worst movie, and then it turned out to be the worst movie. I'm of course talking about Fantastic Four, or Fant4stick. This is a movie that made me so mad, I didn't only post a review, I later posted a rant. You know how I was just saying how Pixels can be forgotten, and these characters will live on? After Fantastic Four, these characters are dead. Everybody says they want these characters to go back to Marvel, but I can't see Marvel even wanting them back at this point. They're ruined. Even if Marvel Disney gets the rights back to these characters, nobody's gonna want to see it. This was supposed to be the movie that inspired a new generation of Fantastic Four fans. This was supposed to get everything back on track, but it did the complete opposite of that. People are actually defending those old Fantastic Four movies, and they suck. The first 20-30 minutes is actually pretty watchable, but then it just becomes a complete mess, and it ruins everything that was going for it. Say whatever you want about Pixels, but at least it's consistent with its tone throughout. It has a story it wants to tell, and it finishes that story. It's a crap story, but still. This thing feels like it's made by 14 people, and none of them get along with anybody else that's making it. With all the drama that's going on behind the scenes, you can actually feel that drama as you go from scene to scene. Hair color changes, tone changes, huge gaps in time. It's a complete and utter mess. It's a disaster, and they should all be embarrassed. Fantastic Four. Fant4stick. It almost feels like they fired him, and on his way out, he just tore the movie to shreds, and then they hired somebody else to, scotch tape it back together again. What was your bottom 10 list? And please remember to check out my top 10 list for best movies of summer 2015. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Mr. Wright. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.